very much, Shock's passing us back to us there. So it's the first time for everything.
Well, I have to say, it is very exciting to have all these pro gamers around and you can touch them. And
you can touch them.
You can touch them, yeah. And sometimes you have people like him as well.
You also have homeless people.
Homeless people.
Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I guess I wasn't trolling till right now.
Well,
it was a nice day for me, but then Demon
had the
came.
Kazakhs.
you had the beep boop. And we
boop.
are in Champions League. Do you want to quickly throw out a couple of predictions? All right.
Couple of predictions, probably Jax against
There's the
Reaper.
Jax.
There's the Jax. Probably, I was going to say more likely Bane.
But it's the Katarina.
It's Katarina, probably Oriana from Sarua again. And maybe we see an Udyr ban.
Against Mokate.
We see Mokate playing Udyr so much.
That was the quickest Nunu ban in the world. That was a half-second ban. Seriously, APM on that ban. Korean style.
Evelyn and Rengar. Wow, that was really
Very
fast
quick.
bans. That was really fast.
So what are we expecting Meteor Makers to go with here? Vayne has been left open.
Wow.
There is Shaoru going to get Twisted Fate in that mid lane. Did pretty good Twisted Fate before. Was usually stronger in Katarina, but it's very strong on Twisted Fate.
I don't know. I feel like Cesario is better with
an
well, actually,
assassin,
he
right?
plays everything. I was going to say with
But I mean,
Azir,
Oriana was available,
Yeah.
and that's one of his strong champions.
Yeah. And now we see Listen, probably for Horo in jungle, and a Syra. Super Syra, most likely, we will see. And now, bottom lane is probably going to pick Sona for Libic. Or even Blitzcrank. Nah, I guess it's going to be Sona. And in jungle, going to be, again, probably a Skarner or Udyr for Mokate.
Well, as long as Udyr is open and
He will wait for the 80.
One of
for
the
sure.
things that's surprised me over the adjustment of the Korean scene, that they've had, how they've adapted to the Western world, because in the Korean scene, Nunu is barely ever banned because they just think he's a worthless support down that bottom lane. I guess they're finally starting to see the effects of Blood Boil on the champions.
Actually, we have to talk about Mackler best 80s. We saw Bane and we saw Sona. And what is the best support? Oh, sorry, Sona. Bane and we saw Kokmao. And the best support for both champions is Nunu. But here
There
we
is
go
Vayne
with
again.
Bane.
He doesn't care. He
Mackler
goes to
loves
the-
that.
Wow, I love that. No, I don't love that.
Oh, Reaper.
What?
I guess Freak will be happy with this Timo pick.
It is a
It's a
Wukong
Wukong.
lock-on.
Top
That is
lane.
Wukong.
And we did see Lee yesterday in our Aram on a Wukong. That was pretty good.
It's not something that's a highlight reel.
No, there were a couple of good
It works out well if everybody wants to dive with me, but everybody is like, nah, I'm not going to go in.
I heard you died like 20 times or 25 times.
I did not. I think you'll find I had a 21-125 against Snoopy and Yellow Pete in an Aram. So thank you very much.
That was Ziggs though. Doesn't count.
It was Ziggs.
And there you go, the Udyr junglers we predict, and Olaf top. Probably the best pick for Kubon as well as Darius. I've been talking with Fnatic and we end up with Olaf and Darius are two picks that even if the laning phase doesn't go that good, it doesn't matter.
still have an impact.
Because in mid and late game you have really huge impact on the carries. It's really strong picks. And finally the 80s MF. They just wanna stomp the bottom lane with that Syra MF is really strong bottom lane. If just Syra get a single E, it's almost a kill for MF with the damage.
I think that the thing that we need to talk about before we run out of time though is Reaper, we said, is going to be the man who should try to carry this team.
It's usually the spear.
Yeah, can you
Wukong is
carry with
perfect.
Wukong? Yeah, you
Of
can.
course, Wukong is one of the highest damage as Bruiser. He's one of the highest damage at top lane. And also I want to point on one thing we didn't talk about is the TF summoner spells.
There is a teleport. He could still swap it out last second,
Yeah.
but that would be interesting.
That's a
double
lot of mobility.
teleport.
Gonna go teleport. It's exactly what Demon said. It's a lot of mobility. He can be everywhere. You can expect teleport, or you can even expect TF ultimate. So he's gonna have a lot of mobility. And I know this team has huge, massive of team play. So what do we expect? Amazing, crazy stuff from me.
So who do you think is going to take this one then?
I love MIM setup.
Me too.
But I'm gonna say Meet Your Makers.
So Meet
With
Your
that
Makers.
TF teleport, love it.
Strong double vote for Meet Your Makers. Anything you think in level 1 fight? We see Meet Your Makers always going for that level 1 fight. Is it going to happen?
Level 1 is equal, but I will say it's better for MIM. They have Udyr, probably Beerstand, they have TF, and they have Olaf, who is really strong with the axes. But I have to say, we were talking about this, top lane is probably going to be Wukong, mid is going to be TF, but bottom is going to be for SK Telecom, huge.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the game
domination.
is underway. You can see them on your screen. They are under action. Let's get over to Joe and Jason to see how it plays out.
So here we go then, our first game of our second semi-final, Meet Your Makers versus SK Telecom T1. And right off the bat, we see there Makata getting an early position up in that curve bush. Actually, Olaf headed up towards the position of you and me. Obviously, the AD carry on Misfortune here for SK Telecom. And they are going to be spotting each other's position. But down on the bottom side of the jungle, and Ward already put down there. Up by the Wraith, so they're going to have decent vision on that side. Makler and Libic actually were watching down in the tri-bush early on for any action that might kick off, and I'm wondering if they're actually going to end up switching lanes out here again. Misfortune is at the top, so that indicates that SK Telecom want to go for that, and I wonder if Vayne then will head to this top side with Sona.
I'm not too used to seeing Misfortune, period, but seeing her in that top lane, thinking a lot of pressure to this Olaf, but gonna be loving that undertow. We know Olaf is a very strong 1v2 laner, mostly when he gets that blue buff with spamming in the undertow. But Joe, I mean, who thinks to take this game? And I want to say Libic on Sona again, when we saw them versus CLGU, and we see Makler on Vayne yet again.
Yeah, you know, all the focus gets put on the AD carry, to be honest, from pretty much everyone out there. But yesterday, Libic with Sona was absolutely insane. The crescendos that we saw were perfect the entire time. Yeah. We didn't see him put one down that didn't really mean too much. So that's going to be a big thing from them in this game. We can see that the Wolves have been started off here by MYM. Makata going his usual Phoenix stance in the jungle, and we will see Makler and Libic going into this top lane just as I thought.
Oh, Reaper's actually still up towards the top lane right now. Kind of an interesting move on their part. I know he did play it a lot in the qualifiers. It was on the Season 3 patch though. But he's very good as Wukong. Actually, looks like he might be even heading mid. Yeah, they're setting card this bottom, Joe. Miley's going to be down there 1v2ing. Actually, no, 1v1ing because Olaf is heading down there as well. But we're going to have Wukong versus Twisted Fate in the mid lane. And that was a matchup the Experts Desk wasn't really expecting.
Ooh. Mighty actually going very, very low there from that blue buff pickup. But as you said, that indicates that he will probably be in that bottom lane from this one as well. And Twisted Fate versus Wukong. Can't really say that I've got much experience with watching Twisted Fate versus Wukong, that's for sure. But this top lane going to be hard as we see already the roots landing onto Makler. The Ignite was used and Lee Sin is now coming around the back. He's got the red buff on. Is his first blood? Yes, it is. It's going to be picked up by you and me. A great start for SK Telecom. We can see Horo went very, very low, but very, very low is not dead. And that will be an important start here for SKT. You can see that Charu having some real problems with Wukong in the middle early on as well.
Yeah, he is. I'm trying to figure out how to switch the scoreboard to really accommodate for this. I mean, I'm really having a hard time there. Obviously, Will, since it's a a bruiser in the mid lane against an AP carry, we're seeing that a lot in Season 3. I know Froggen loves to play that Jarvan in mid lane or even Lee Sin. So he's on a tough time. But one thing we need to mention, he's running teleport on a TF, Joe.
All the more movement around the map, especially since you get that then before level 6, obviously. And then once he gets into level 6, well, he's got 2 reasons to be moving around the map. So we'll see how that all works out here for Charu. As you can see, Reaper already has the level advantage on him there. Misfortune just gone back, picking up Doran's Blade and 3 pots as we are seeing Makata coming around now into this middle lane. Reaper will just dive over to him and will be safe from that one. And that's the thing about Wukong as well. He's pretty slippy. I mean, he's not Lee Sin slippy, but with that decoy and with his E as well, he's pretty hard to lock down.
Yeah, but the one thing that Matchmakers has in their advantage, when TF pops that ultimate, they will be able to see him if he does use that decoy, and they could easily pick up a kill. They did try to gank him before he got it up, but he's level 4 now, obviously going to have it. And we have Horo visiting the top lane yet again. And I don't believe he's actually spotted by Ward, but pings are going down for him.
Oh, Libic is hanging around here, and we are going to see him try to get in there. The root actually missed, so that could throw this push off, but you can see the damage that Makler takes just from that. As the Q will land in on towards Libic. This is going to be decent damage. Nice condemn onto Horo there, forcing him against the wall, stuns him up. And that should be the end of that trouble. Wukong actually just going up for the Wraiths there as well. Is going to be coming back into lane. 23 to 22 CS in this mid lane. Like you said, it's pretty hard to balance the scoreboard around for this one as Makata is coming in. They're going to get the stun down now onto Reaper after he uses that decoy. Can they finish him off? Flash comes in. Charu going to pick up the kill. And Makata once again showing just how good he is with this Udyr in the jungle.
Yeah, very well timed right there. They waited for that decoy to disappear, and the flash is coming at Charu. The CC they have is amazing. And Joe, we should probably talk about this quote-unquote bot lane a little bit. I mean, we have Karthus versus Olaf here. And Miley's still with that blue buff right now. He's sitting at 24 CS to 20. So Cubone, he's holding in. He has a couple of health pots going for that Fairy's Charm. We'll build into that that Philo Stone eventually. But Mackler, I mean, we saw him yesterday. Sorry, you just switched camera on me. But Mackler, we saw him yesterday. He played an amazing Vayne. There's no, that's an understatement if anything. But he's being shut out right now. In the game he played Vayne, he had a very good start.
Yeah, he had that very good start, which they probably need to try and figure out here as well to try and get that Udyr into this top lane. Libic probably will have to play a bit more aggressively as well without getting caught out in this lane if he wants to keep Mackler safe. Obviously, do have that sustain with the heal coming out of Libic, but the damage from Misfortune early on, especially combined with the root from Zyra and the plants on top of it, that's going to make it really hard to, you know, heal Mackler through everything that comes in.
Yeah, and there's a huge CS difference on top of that. 37 for Misfortune to the 19 for Vayne. Gonna have a tough time, but I mean, Misfortune is one of those champions that's very strong early on. Vayne easily will outscale her late game. But the thing that SK Telecom has in their favor is the AoE of their team. I mean, they have Wukong to knock everyone up. They have Zyra to knock everyone up. They even have a wall pain to slow them. They have the E out of Lee Sin to slow them. And then the Misfortune ultimate on top of that. So Meat Makers have to get a little bit tanky and avoid the CC chain that SK Telecom put out. But still, I mean, we have one kill for Char in the mid lane, going for the Sword Boots, getting that extra movement speed against Reaper. And he went for that Doran's Blade himself.
His bottom lane, Kubon, 40 CS to the 29 of Mytilly's Karthus. So really doing a nice little job is there, Kubon. But again, this bottom lane is going to be where it's all at, as the root will land onto Mackler, but Starlast going a little bit too low to really get involved with that one. However, Horo is coming back towards his top side of the map, currently doing the golems as Karthus takes the expected damage there from Kubon in the bottom. He's actually got 3 points in the Reckless Swing, so leveling his E up first here, as Makata now going to come in towards that middle area. Can't really take Reaper on 1v1, that's for sure, as we again see just the pure damage that can come out of Misfortune.
Oh no, Reaper, he's actually coming out towards his top, and he is spotted. Pings are going down. You do see Mikati heading up there as well, trying to stop him, but Reaper goes back to lane. And I mean, that's the thing. They're trying to focus down Mackler. They know how well he played yesterday on pretty much all of his 80 carries, his Corki, his Vayne, and his Kog'Maw. There we go. I was trying to figure out the last one. So shut him down could do very well, but I mean, TF is 6. Haven't seen a teleport out of him. Haven't seen an ultimate out of him just yet. And actually, it looks like he will potentially be heading over there as he could pick up his blue buff and head back to lane. We do have boots mobility done on Lee Sin, so he's trying to run around as much as possible and provide these ganks. And at the bottom lane, I'm surprised at how well Cubone's actually doing. I mean, Mylene has that range to actually farm. He has that range to harass as much as possible.
Oh, Twisted Fate ulti coming into this top lane. Starlast actually gonna get away from this one, possibly. They need one more hit from Mackler or from Charu there. That final card doing the business for them. And that will be a nice kill coming over. Twisted Fate now 2-0. Vayne obviously picks up the assist for that one as well. And you said you're surprised in this bottom lane that Kubone's doing so well. I'm not really. I mean, as an Olaf, you can be very aggressive onto a Karthus. Like, it's very hard for him to really stop you coming in, throwing that reckless swing down, getting the axe onto you, and then backing away countless times. So, you know, in their 62 CS to the 48 of Karthus, I'm keeping the scoreboard lined up like this because, well, it's their respective roles at the end of the day. Maybe not quite which lanes they're in, because then we'd have a real trouble keeping that scoreboard updated. But 67 on Olaf to the 57 on Wukong, 49 on Charu with the 2 kills to the 48 with Mightily on Karthus. So now looking really good on that front for Meet Your Makers. The other side of it, though, obviously they have lost Vayne once, dying early on. Misfortune picking up that kill, now has a BF sword to bring into this top lane as if she wasn't already hurting enough, and also has a 62 to 36 CS lead.
And that's really hard to go up against. I mean, the CC, like we mentioned before, out of SK Telecom to lock Mackler down, running that hill. Oh, this is not going to be good for him. He does have Flash and Exhaust available, but Makati backing away as Reaper's going to spot him here.
Yeah, Reaper is going to spot him. Actually pops the decoy off there. He's going to go dancing in and actually will pop the ultimate here onto Makata. Lee Sin coming around as well. A Q not quite landing, but the W will get him in position anyway. And Reaper will pick up that kill onto Makata. And that was a great turnaround. I'm not sure if they really spotted that it was there, but we are seeing now Charu headed up to this top side of the map. Obviously does have his ultimate available. Use the teleport for for that last one. And we are now going to see Twisted Fate coming in for this one. There's a brilliant crescendo as well. They've lost Makler, but they should be able to take you and me. But they forgot about the Karthus. Charu not quite going to be finished off by a heal coming out of Libic held top. But we've got Wukong coming around the side. Can he get in? Charu is actually going to be recoiling. Uses a decoy in the bush. There is the Wukong. And shut down. 3 kills lined up there, and they're going to dive in on towards Libic as well. They got the root. Starlast tanking the turret up. This is another one, a double kill for Reaper. He'll escape from the turret damage as well. And SK Telecom looking very, very good.
That was a nice trade. They're getting 3 kills for 0. We see Reaper now 3-1. He died early on. Seeing the bottom Cubon just trying to harass Miley, and that, like you're saying, he has the ability to stick to him as much as possible with his undertows. But Reaper looking very strong now, has that brutalizer that's going to be causing a lot of problems for Charu. So you see Horo and Makati going head-to-head in that middle lane, and Horo just going to back out instead. But, you know, Lee Sin here, he hasn't been too impactful after that first initial gank in that top lane we saw. And yet, I mean, still farming well, has his boost ability still going into his wriggles. And Makati, I mean, I want to say if we saw an Oracle out of him, a little bit of an early Oracle, he could have ganked Reaper quite a bit more in the middle lane, but obviously he knows what he's doing a lot better than I am. Dragon still is up right now, 11 minutes in, hasn't been taken once yet. And Joe, I mean, we know how strong Olaf is with an advantage, but he's rocking 2 GP10 and almost a 30 CS lead.
Exactly. I mean, he's only getting stronger from this point on. If you look at the gold, 3,100 to 3,600, obviously with 3 kills in there, as Reaper is going to come down into this bottom lane. Will use a decoy to get himself back off there and stay safe, but Lee Sin is coming down. That ward will have spotted him, and Kubon should be safe from that one. Yep, he's just going to back away. I think the real worry is this Misfortune and how they're just demolishing Vayne up until this point. I mean, Vayne 0-2-2 compared to the 2-1-1. The CS is not on his side. Is Kubon now going to be in trouble, but in comes Makata. Actually got knocked up there in the end, but the stun will go down. Reaper does manage to take down Olaf, but he's going to get shut down now by Twisted Fate, who returns the favor for ending that killing spree early on. And now it looks like Meteor Makers may try for a turret. They've not really got the minions there, though. That's a problem.
Yeah, and they do have Horo defending it as well. And they could have actually went for a Dragon off of that, but still going to be pushing that bottom tower. Going to get it pretty low here. But whether or not they're actually going to get it down is the real question. We did have a lane switch, by the way, as you were noticing. Reaper was at the bottom lane, and we did see Miley head towards mid. Miley actually going for a gank on this top lane. And if they catch Makler yet again, this will be devastating. It looks like they might even be able to. That's,
nice
there it is.
Tumble away. Dodging that wall of pain, but that's going to mean a turret here. SK Telecom realizing that they're going to lose their outer turret in the bottom lane, so they need to reply to that one with taking one of their own in this top lane. And that will leave us with 17.3 to 16.8 thousand gold. Pretty close on that front. But when you look over to Meteor Makers, all the kills stacked up here on Twisted Fate.
Yeah, we always talk about that spread. Actually, we're going to see a Dragon coming out of SK Telecom very shortly. See Horo with that pink orb. We see the AD carry backing out. And there's no reason for them to not go for it. But yeah, I mean, that's 4 kills on TF. And Joe, we've seen time and time again, I mean, you can stack as many kills as you want on Twisted Fate, but you need kills on other targets. You need kills on a Vayne especially, since Twisted Fate will obviously kind of fade off late game. There is that pink ward going down. Horo going to clear out the ward for Meteor Makers. And they have all 5 members in the vicinity. Makler in the top lane right now, and there's nothing they could do to actually stop this list. They're potentially going to go for a steal here.
Well, we are going to see them going in there. Makata is going to come around, but they do disengage. There comes the crescendo. Makata going very, very low. Kuban not super healthy either, but he's trying to stick to Misfortune. Doesn't quite get the kill. And they're going to lose Olaf. Not quite take out you and me. Libic is still off the other side, but obviously he's not going to be able to do anything. This Dragon is going to go over to SK Telecom. Plus that kill. Great bit of play from the Koreans.
Yep, now they have that 1,500 gold lead. And I mean, the kill stack currently for SK Telecom, 4 on Wukong, 3 on Misfortune. That couldn't really be any better. Obviously, you want to see Karthus with a little more, going for that Rod of Ages. Needs to be able to stand up against this brute force that Meteor Makers has. But still, I mean, he's still in the game. Even though he was bot lane against Olaf, he's not down so much CS anymore. He's sitting there at 83 at the moment. And compared to his counterpart, 87 overall, not far behind at all.
And now Reaper in this top lane. Could probably hammer Makler as well while if Libic's not there, but we are going to see Twisted Fate coming in. Here's the stun card pulled as well. They actually managed to get it down. Reaper trying to get away, but Vayne is onto him with the ulti. A great condemn against the wall. Reaper tries to turn it round, but it's not going to be quite enough there to stop Makler. Actually, it was Libic that picked up the kill in the end. That wasn't ideal either. But Meteor Makers may just have their second turret of the game away with this one. Starlash just getting hit by the wild cards, and Lee Sin and Karthus are both coming up here. Lee Sin's Q will literally go through all three of them and connect with none. And that will be Meet Your Makers walking away from that one safe. And look at the goal, bang even on 20.8-ish. Changes.
I love that. I love that word. But still, I mean, we see Mackler right now, 2 Dorn's Blades, Berserker Greaves compared to his counterpart, Bloodthirster Joe. I mean, it's just that right there. He doesn't even need any boots on top of that. That sustain is going to be very, very good for you and me. And there really isn't much Mackler can do. We did see a great play out of him in that top lane with that Condemn, but it might not be enough. Char might even get caught here and does, in fact, get hit with the Q up Horo.
Oh, Horo gonna flash behind him, kicks him back out towards Karthus. This is dangerous signs for Charo. The second Q landing here from Horo. He could follow him over there. No, misfortune ultimate, not quite enough to finish off. And he will, I say walk away from that one. He was pretty
crawled away from that
tooth and nail stuff, but he did get away from it. That's the important part from Charu's side. Actually picking up that Negatron cloak now.
We do see Rada Age is actually completed for Mightily now. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see SK Telecom actually start grouping up for some team fighting because they have such a great composition for it. They are really far ahead with their AD carry and with their mid lane. And still, just 4 kills sitting on Charo right now and the 1 on Libic. Like we saw on the top lane, obviously not the ideal person, but still, you'll take it anyways. And he has a Heart of Gold and Boots of Mobility. However, Libic hasn't really been roaming around too much. Oh, Reaper's gonna sneak in here.
Yeah, not quite
And
sneaky enough though. Decoy needed to last about 300% longer. They are starting to push down towards this turret. I mean, they've got all 5 there, SK Telecom. And in terms of a diving team, it's not half bad. I mean, if they can get that Wukong in there and knock them up, that's an easy Zyra ultimate then.
Yep.
Well, the danger is, now you've got the stuns out of Libic with Crescendo. Makata is in there. You've got Twisted Fate who can stun you as well. So not really the easiest team to keep under control. But either way, Meet Your Makers have now managed to gain a gold lead, and that's just from farming, basically, in these in this last minute or so. Well, both teams stacked up. Horo's actually gone into this top lane to stop that one pushing out too far. Reaper will again decoy back on toward his turret. I mean, that turret is also, though, 445 HP remaining on the SK Telecom middle outer turret. Dragon will be coming up 1944, so still a bit of time until that one comes into play. And Meet Your Makers may just want to go for this middle turret after all, you know, just stick around. I mean, Twisted Fate has backed away, but at the end of the day, he's Twisted Fate and he can come straight back into that fight. He's got teleport and his ultimate available, so he could even come in and go out again if he needs to.
Yeah, Reaper heading down towards the spot lane just to stop this push. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, he's actually living up his E, his Nimbus Strike, not going for his Q. I know a lot of people at home don't really see too many competitive. That is a dead TF.
Yes. Ulti not going to save you from that one, I'm afraid. But again, great play, and that's the danger of the decoy. You think that you're safe, but all of a sudden, a monkey appears right before your eyes, and you're in a lot of trouble. We are seeing them chasing down Kubon here. Ultimate was popped, Libic now in a bit of trouble, puts a nice crescendo down. Ultimate coming out of Karthus, will it be enough again? Libic managing to heal through that one, but Lee Sin going right through. He gets the 1 kill, but dies himself afterwards. And now Kubon, the one that's in trouble. SK trying to push through, and Mackler now being chased down by you and me. Oh, the double actually landing onto Sona. And Sona's like, my God, scumbag. You walk towards me, and I end up dying. But that was going to open this middle turret up now for SK Telecom, and that will be the first middle outer turret of the game.
And as well as the bot turret too. So they're going to pick up 2 turrets here, get a nice gold advantage, or they're going to get their gold advantage back. And still, I mean, SK Telecom, as you saw right there, Reaper just pretty much 1v1 Charo. There's nothing Charo could do about it. And then in that fight, they're just so strong right now. They're just so fed at the moment that they can just take the upfront damage feature has to offer, and then put even more back at them. We do have 1,600 gold currently sitting on Reaper as he is backing out right now. 1,000 on Karthus and 1,000 on Zyra. So we're going to see a couple of items being built up here. Sword boots for Karthus currently. And Wukong going to pick up a BF sword because why not, Joe?
Because he can. 5-3-0 currently brutalizing that Hex Drinker already in there for him. And for the AD carry as well, Misfortune obviously 4-1-2, big CS lead as well, is in a prime position at this stage of the game. Bloodthirster and Zeal finished alongside the Berserker Greaves, Doran's Blade, and a longsword compared to, well, Zeal, the crit cloak, And, well, not a lot much more to talk about there. There's double Doran's Blade, but you and me definitely the stronger of the two there. And we saw just how devastated he can be in that last fight, taking down the support, albeit got a little bit of luck in the end. But, you know, not going to say anything bad about that one. You need a little bit of luck on your way to victory as well. But Meet Your Makers now are going to be looking for this outer turret in the middle lane. The Dragon was taken by SK Telecom, and here comes Reaper again. He's going to get the knockup. Where's the Zyra ultimate? Not quite in there just yet, as the plants come down as well. SK Telecom losing a couple of members here. Kubon manages to pick one up mightily, going low. Kubon, though, is stood right inside of the defile, and mightily still manages to stay alive. And that is going to be kills coming over again for SK Telecom. The rest of Meet Your Makers having to back away. But it was a 2 for 2. Who did they lose? They lost Charu, they lost Kubon, and they took out Reaper and Mightily. So, well, it was a fair trade in that situation as well.
Yep, it looks like they are going to push down this mid turret. Get that one down as well. We just see Warmogs complete for Kubon, and in that last little fight, you actually saw Horo kick Mackler back over that wall. Still great micro out of him, which we saw all day yesterday. Fed nets are completed for him. And, I mean, this is the point where Meet Your Makers can start to make a really easy comeback with, because Olaf is really tanky. And they don't really have, I mean, they have a lot of damage on SK Telecom, but against an Olaf with his ultimate pops who can just run right in your face and force the AD carry to back off is going to cause him a lot of problems. Mackler are going to get the items he needs to get back in the game very shortly. We do see Red Buff going over to you and me, and he's played very exceptional this game. 5-1, Bloodthirster, and a Zeal on top of that.
Yeah, he's going to be hurt, or if he's not already. But he must be sounding good chunk. Yeah, 1,700 gold currently for you and me.
Also has a longsword, Joe. So we could see a Phage, could see a Brutalizer into a Black Cleaver. Obviously not the Black Cleaver we're all used to now with Season 3, but still. Nonetheless, we'll be able to work very well for her. And we do have that penetration build done on Charu now, which is really a big deal. He is their magic damage, and he should be doing true damage to Misfortune, most likely to Reaper. Well, not full true damage to him, but a good portion of it. And as well as Karthus, who still on that Rod of Ages, getting pretty tanky for his team. As we saw in that last fight, he just sat in the middle of all of them, let his Defile do all the damage, not to mention the Lay Waste. Ended up dying, but still doing a lot of damage in the end.
Yeah, you're supposed to die anyways, Karthus.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be right in the middle of him and a prime target to be taken down. But he is currently 115, 133 to 137 CS, so technically behind Twisted Fate here, not to mention those big kill advantage that Charu does have. Are we going to see a fight kicking off here? As the Q from Lee Sin will actually land there on Limbic. Meanwhile, in the middle, Mackler thought Lee Sin was going to go aggressive onto him. In the end, decided against that one. And Charu just popped his ultimate to see where everyone was, but he's not going to go anywhere. He's going home.
He's going somewhere. Just tell him, Joe. But yeah, we do have an Oracle currently on Starlast. Been on for quite a while, and Libic ended up picking one up for himself. And it looks like both teams, I mean, we're 23 minutes in. They're trying to make some moves towards Baron here, but I don't think neither team can really take it up front. Not to mention if a team is hammering away from behind in that pit. But still, SK Telecom, they're still grouped up in this mid lane. They're still trying to make a play here. And, I mean, they still have 2 more outer turrets to take if they want in that top and bottom lane. But still, Makati all alone here to defend with Mackler, and they need to get back ASAP. If Kubon doesn't get back and Charu, then they're going to lose this inhibitor turret.
And we've got Reaper that just came through the jungle, I think, trying to catch anyone out in that sense. But they are going to be focusing down this inhibitor turret, and it is gone. There's no way that they're going to save that one. Will they be able to save the inhibitor itself, though? Not too sure, as the Wall of Pain does go down. It's going to make Karthus damage that bit more. Awesome, as Reaper is going to dive in there. The support does go down. Reaper falling very low, but he'll go to the back of this fight. Mackler is still alive. He could be a big factor in this one as Kubon trying to run away. Mackler does die. Charu now going to be locked down as well, and that is Horo to take down Charu. And that is the inhibitor taken. What are SK Telecom going to do? To be honest, they've got 14 seconds for Libic, 30 and 25 seconds for the AD and AP carry, and they may just do what we saw from CJ Enters yesterday, and that is ignore the other lanes and just push straight through the middle here for the victory as they focus down on towards Kubon. Reaper, look how much health he's got. 20 health or so he manages to survive. There comes the crescendo out. Can they kill Mightily? Yes, he will eventually die, but they are going at the Nexus. The spawn's coming in 2 seconds for Mackler. This actually could go a little bit wrong for SK Telecom, but they're still hitting it, and they are going to take down the Nexus and win game number 1 here at Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. taking out Meet Your Makers. But it is a best of 3, but an impressive performance nonetheless from the Korean side.
That was a very fast game, Joe. 24 minutes, like you just said, 24-34. And it all took us one team fight, just like we're saying, with the whole composition they're running. They have the knockup from Wukong. They followed it up with the Zyra. They just blew up the enemy team as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, what else is to say? Very well played by them. And Meet Your Makers have their work cut out for them. That's the first game they lost, actually, in this event so far. And if they want to keep their hopes alive, just like we saw in the first series, like Fnatic, they're going to have to win this next game.
Yeah, we've already seen it once today, where a team loses game number 1, then manages to come back into it. Will Meet Your Makers be able to do that, though? Just a quick note there, you and me on Misfortune. Perfect thing to go against Vayne, because in the early game you've got a big advantage, and they really played on that fact as well. Did SK Telecom? You and me ended up 8-1-5, a world ahead of what Vayne could offer by that one. That's the thing, they just couldn't keep Mackler alive long enough in those fights. I mean, the last one we saw, he was still alive and doing damage, but it's just not anywhere near enough to take down the entire team of SK Telecom, who were just pushing in. I see Reaper on the left, that's Charu.
As the expert Des was saying, the hairiest member of Meet Your Makers.
Well, technically, he's right. I think he's got more hair than everyone else on the team combined, actually. But MYM need to have a talk about this one. You can see it's not quite what we saw from Fnatic after their first game, which was they all stood up, went behind the desk, and we're talking all together about what went wrong for them in that first game. Meet Your Makers here seem to be a little bit annoyed, and they've got to keep that composure up if they're going to be coming back into this game. It's not going to be an easy task. SK Telecom look like a even better team than we saw yesterday. So we're going to be taking a quick commercial break here. When we come back, we'll be breaking down game number 1.